Hello, let's relax, immerse yourself in emotional stories, and explore the world of learning English through stories. Don't forget to press the sign up button and sound the alarm. Don't miss any new stories.
I feel like I'm thinking about buying stuff.
There has been a big change in my heart.
Lao is not. We pay to get what we want.
I'm sending my thanks back to people contributed to that product.
I put that in Tim.
Haruka started folding the yellow paper again.
It says 180.
Thank you.
She must be flying again.
Just talking and playing. Image Haruka.
The paper folding looks so childish that it makes me feel weird. I peacefully watched her face.
Then I thought about my conversation with Haruka. Why is it different?
That teenage girl is still full of childish looks. There may be thoughts and actions.
Growing up so much, it feels so strange that I want to get chicken skin. You understand? What do you understand? There's a sense of interest in your words. Haruka didn't say anything, but her gaze fell back on the table.
Smiling, I kept working again.
You want to teach me that, right?
Money is also income and thanks.
It is true that Yuzuki is different if Baba does not explain.
I didn't understand it so deeply from the beginning to the end.
And yet, you were able to rely on the suggestion of understanding I up to that point. That's what it is. It's because of you.
Because you seem to be having fun.
More than those who received thanks.
Haruka silently nodded.
I taught this when I graduated from high school. I was going to get another job. I asked my bar opinion.
I don't lack money either.
I don't want anything. Just want to go to work,
save money, and learn about external etiquette for the future. That's why I asked what to see.
When I said that, Baba said this.
With a salary of 800 yen per hour,
I have to work 12,500 hours. If you work 8 hours a day, 5 sessions a week is divided into 40 hours. That's 312 weeks. That means calculating I would take 8 years. Of course, this is in case we didn't touch it.
That money doesn't seem to have been calculated wrong. But then, Ba, I said.
Everyone also thinks this is the correct answer. I also asked about why.
Keep reading is a feeling.
Thanks, as they say. If you get 800 thanks for an hour of work, how much does that person have to do?
To earn 1 million thanks.
This time,
we can't think of it as computation anymore. Because it depends on how you work.
In 1 working hour, the number of thanks we receive may increase.
If we recompute the idiots.
But that's right.
Because that's exactly the calculation.
It doesn't create any value on its own. That's what it is.
I'm also unconscious.
To the question, think about the number of hours required. And the next question, think about the value of working for an hour. The thanks we get from everyone.
Depending on the date. According to each person that changes. If we get 800 thanks an hour.
In 8 years of doing that, there will be people, 1 month achieve 1 million thanks.
It's not a strange thing.
It has nothing to do with the question. Turn the word yen into thank you.
I was caught up in Haruka's question.
Continue to say bar. My father said that.
Many people don't realize that. If you work for 800 yen, 8,000 yen per hour,
you will have to work 10 hours. It's the way almost everyone thinks.
It's also true.
But we have to think about this. If you want 10 times that thank you in one working hour, you have to do something.
That's not true.
But there are people who live their whole lives.
Because I was too greedy. At first, we just had a chance to meet.
My heart has jumped up. I didn't even think. See if you can both talk to each other. You just need to meet separately.
My mind is gone. But today is different.
You two met. Let's spend her birthday together. I never learned to think that way.
Talk about how many things.
But I'm still not satisfied. I also felt that I was too greedy. But even if the heart understands,
still can't stop this feeling.
Same today.
I know I can't, but I still want to hold on a little. I know that Azuka is the reason she bothers all the time to go back home. It looks like it's been hot since the morning.
If you want to earn more than the current income,
give it a try.
Haruka's face.
It's not turning red, and it seems to be turning blue. Why don't I take you home? Well, no. I can go home by myself. I'm not too far away.
In her wry smile,
I can see how determined she is.
She doesn't want me to follow along. There must be a reason.
They just know they have to work a lot more than they do now. I can only watch Haruka's shadow as we escorted her from the zoo gate.
Sometimes Haruka turns her head,
waving hello to me with a smile and slowly moving on.
In the hot sun's glow, Ball backs her teen white dress day afar.
It's like a beautiful flower that can't be reached. The sun is still so strong. Do I do it? When I see my shadow on a long road, even from a young age, but too fragile.
Since when the Riri sound of the brown ticks,
they have replaced them all day long.
Summer is over. Call. Break up. Haruka returned home. My head is still full of thoughts of her. What time is it at SAO, Haruka?
You can only see me in the morning, or she doesn't really want to see me.
They've got caught up in the work system. But it must be.
People don't choose who they don't want to meet. To be with you on your birthday, or in the afternoon is Haruka time.
You will meet the ideal person. She said she's always helping her.
No, but she doesn't look like she's lying. I'm sure she'll be home in the afternoon. When are my thoughts?
Also in a possible condition.
With hourly rate.
This can also be KIA.
The only thing that's different is Haruka's face.
The end of the day didn't look so good. Oh, is she okay? That night was the first time. I read the address on Haruka's phone number. Write me on the paper. Remember to just look.
Staring paper, I just decided I will definitely call tomorrow. It's eroding their perception. Even if my heart is worried for Haruka, but I also realized that I was looking for a reason to call. Up to that point, Haruka was always the one to initiate contact. Not a single phone call from me. Haruka told her it's a bother if she knows I'm going out. I don't want to get in trouble.
I think Haruka. Shame if her mother knows she's out to see me, so I hesitated to call.
I think I need to go to work.
The next day.
It's about 10 in the morning, even though I'm on the phone. But then I just went back to my room.
How to go anymore?
I still didn't have the courage to call.
Very slowly. An hour later,
I decided to stand in front of the phone. The second time, Haruka wrote and passed me the number. Saved money. That means I'm allowed to call, and she will.
Go home at this hour. It also means that the mother is coming back. After a working day.
Therefore,
if you don't call now, there's no chance.
I keep telling myself that all the time. I see a stiff heart beating faster and faster to the sky. Put Haruka on the phone and someone picks it up. Hello, this is not Haruka's voice, and learning about outside society for the future.
It must be her mother.
Please let me ask. Is it the Munitator house? Yes, the AI house.
My name is Duo. Let me ask if Haruka is home.
After a silence,
I saw a sigh leaking through the stethoscope.
what are you doing? No, I just want to know how healthy he is.
I am so sorry.
But she can't come to the phone now. But those experiences. I'll tell her you're here. Daughter-in-law calling. Thank you for calling. Yes, please. The last thing I said was out.
I don't know if people listen.
As soon as I finished speaking, Ti also hung up the phone.
No matter how optimistic.
It cannot be assumed that it's a good way to talk. Maybe it's an obstacle to my future.
That sounds ironic, doesn't it?
But it's not for the money. I really want to learn about the outside world for my future. Don't rely on extra work. They should do jobs that don't require bonuses.
Or the enemy is number one. That's what I taught Bar.
Just right.
It's just that, of course, you'll feel the pain, but we don't do it for the money.
Just wanting to do something for someone else
Who can work to help that AI feel good?
will not just bring thought.
How much money will I get as many hours as I work?
Just working.
Say 1 hour work.
I will think.
Is there any other way to help people? There's no other way to make us happier. To have his work one more productivity. If that happens naturally, the same day goes by. But when we get a lot of thanks from a lot of people,
It will help us grow in the future.
Haruko laughed while nodding her head gently.
Yellow paper craft sheet.
It's now turned into a paper airplane.
To I. So I decided I wasn't going to get another job.
But since then, I've developed a habit of thinking. See if there's a way to always get everyone's thanks.
Are you sure?
He's the one who gets a lot of thanks from everyone. More than others. When I say that, Haruka's smile almost sparkled with me. When you two break up, I'm thinking about succeeding in the future.
Of course, success is also needed. Money or a lot of money in hand.
But how do we divide things up?
It's a thorny problem. How to become rich.
How to get a lot of profit? What job gives us a high income?
How to make money in a fun way.
Well, I'm just as embarrassed as when to hear Haruka's story.
I still have a little fun.
It's saving a few hundred yen an hour of work.
I was just thinking about it.
Of course not. Because it's easy to find a method like that.
Just It can also be a way to escape when we have to think about our future. But only in that one day. There's been a big change in my thinking.
It's not a way to make a profit. That.
How can we get a lot of thanks? When thinking about how to make a profit before,
I didn't think of it. What's good in this situation? If you think in the direction, find a way to get thanks from everyone. There's a lot of interesting ideas coming up.
That's why today I fell asleep feeling full of hope
and excited about the future.
Before going to bed, I'm flying the yellow plane today. Haruka,
take a look with the words. 80 words of thanks again.
Until you're in the blanket afterwards.
I try to imagine OI to 180 thanks today. To those who contributed. Make that hamburger format.
Give me. You will receive that thank you in all its forms. How I feel a little excited when I think about each of them. Also want to say thank you to me.
How the day was.
My future goal. He's gone from making a lot of money.
I get a lot of thanks from everyone.
The fourth lesson is to be attractive.
Turn trouble into personality.
We also met the next day. Before we broke up, I dated her.
I've never taken the initiative to date a girl.
How much courage do you have to gather? Haruka just said softly.
All right, I can go.
We met in a small park. There's nothing to play for but two swings. From a young age.
This is a big enough space to play. The weather was as beautiful as ever.
And there was no one but the two of us.
Arrive at the appointed time and immediately sit down on the swing. She swayed and suddenly started talking. Haruka's fourth lesson has begun. Reminds me of Jisuk. You used to say that you were kind of lacking confidence. Right, you. There are a lot of cool guys out there.
I want to be like them too. Life must have been a lot different.
I think it's good to see Jesus like this. Don't mess with me.
I must be the one who knows me best.
How should it be? I used to think so too. If you feel bad about yourself, don't joke around like that.
Actually, that day, a picture of Haruka.
Wearing a white roasted dress. Swinging on the swing. She looks as beautiful as an angel. Thank you, but it's true. There was a time when I thought that.
Does that mean you don't think badly anymore? That's right. I've given up on that thought.
It's not that I think. This is good enough for me. It's just that I realize that.
A good definition of yourself is, that's not good. That is why I asked Bar to teach. I just knew I could be a charming person. I haven't mentioned it yet and wait forever to see it.
How did I get ahead of you?
Haruka laughed and knew right away.
Then gently nod.
Here's what Haruka just said.
Just brought out a green plane.
I just met her and she opened a new reminder.
And then quickly pull out that origami paper. Maybe she decided.
And we're ready to talk about today. She's become my teacher too. I can open it. Just do it.
Haruka looked at me happily while swinging her swing. I opened it to see. See the text written inside. Let's turn restrictions into attractions. Let's turn restrictions into attractions. I read that out loud. In elementary school, I've chosen to make a bungalow for my crafts. Summer. Your type.
You have to roll each piece of paper into a wooden shape.
Wow, that's a good idea.
It seems like Haruka's hobby of folding paper. It's not just recently formed. Unfortunately, the more you do, the dirtier the product is. At first, the papers looked pretty, but then I measured the length and cut it down. Through the window,
Apply the paste and reinforce with adhesive tape
so it's crumpled up and down
until the product is finished. Try not to think badly. I was crying. This is too bad to take to school.
I know how you feel.
I also tried a house out of matches once, but it just floats and it can't be beautiful.
Then Bar, talk to me.
Bar loves the model.
From old. They've built models of Western castles. But these models are very difficult.
Whatever you do, it gets dirty. Generally speaking,
Creating a perfect product is extremely challenging.
so he figured out how to avoid 7 defeats. No, it's not that.
Unfortunately, those holes or grime. You can't hide it if you hide it. But many times,
If we dare to make these clumsy works of art, sometimes it makes people pay attention.
yeah, it's what you said. That's right. Stop hiding it. Decide to live with it. Because of that product, it's become 1/100th of us. Then, so I feel like I've just been enlightened. Haruka laughed and then continued slowly. You can light a lamp in there.
It's not lit. If we do that, that gap will no longer be a defect.
That become the personality of that product. No matter how many failures you have. With throat covers and scratches, the lights shining through all those throats. Turn it into a sparkling beauty to create its own personality. I mean, when we light the lights inside, I was immediately convinced.
Probably with that view.
Any product,
It also has its own great personality. Then people are right too.
a lot of people have said that. Humans are not perfect creatures. Papa says that everyone just needs to be themselves.
It's a wonderful existence.
Sorry that.
Many people make comparisons with others and hold in my heart my troubles.
Bring out those internal wounds. To think that my life is worthless, but if you light the inner light, beyond conflict and wounds, you have created a self in the present.
Maybe become a part. Your personality brings charm. I understand. But what kind of light do you have to put in your heart? But you can consider it symbolic.
The light that lights up in my heart.
The power of imagination is man's greatest weapon.
It's just symbolic. That's right. It's as if there's a little sun out there. Then you think about how big it could be.
How bright. It radiates outward, and those who look at themselves will see the brilliance.
That bright Esayo Zusuk also tried Oro.
That's what she said. I try to imagine.
The image inside me is lit up, but appears in my heart. Mixed with a sense of shame. It's a leopard candle. I thought it was going to be blown away by the wind.
Really is.
It's not strong enough for LAN to radiate outside the road, and then it gets bigger and bigger.
Think it's going to be big.
More powerful than any other.
The light inside your heart will grow bigger and bigger. It will be as big as the sun. I heard what she said. Try to follow.
I keep repeating in my heart that I am strong. It's so bright. It's so big, the light. I imagine going out there one day growing up. Do that again.
Even though you yourself are nothing special.
I gradually feel again.
I can do anything.
That bright light. With others. It's like something very gentle, but it boils in my heart. I feel completely different from myself. Ever since. I see a stronger image. Be more brilliant. Be stronger. Brilliant enough for LAN to shine through every pore. Shine. Go outside. Yes, you did it. Do you think you've changed? I kind of came back to myself and looked at Haruka. Do you feel it? Feel it and try it. I feel like my worldview has changed, like becoming someone else. I really feel like there's a LAN out there. I was startled by my own honesty. Maybe I had more courage. This is great. I feel so confident now. Or should I say, now myself. He became a man who could do anything. In short, who I am now, so full of energy that it's amazing. I don't know if it's me anymore. Worldview now. Or internal contradictions. It's become part of the personality. I really think so. I'm glad you think so. Yeah, me too. When talking to people, or when you want to do something, sometimes I suddenly find myself losing confidence. I've been thinking about this. If your body is always full of light, wounds in the heart, or other points is people, through the eyes, the words shine out. You can become a very attractive person yourself. That's what Papa said, now in my mind. Seems to be burning a bright light. Enough LAN power to radiate outside. Since that day, every time there's a chance, I brought those words to myself. Lesson number 5. Don't focus too much on one thing. There are many ways to make a goal a reality. That day, I learned one more important thing from Haruka. It starts with your question. Haruka's only student. It's me these days. The relationship between the two of us using the word teacher is the norm, the most physical, but the real teacher here is not Haruka. It is her bar. I don't know if I can ask this question. That's what you said. I've made 2 lists for life as you teach it. A list of things I want or want. Give it to others in your life. Yeah, you said that. That's how I realized what I can do today. Because in my power. Let's do it today, for the first time. It's a great method. And that second list. I feel like I can really finish it. My first list. That said, it's been helpful for Jesus Christ. That's a lot of help, but I have something to ask. Of course. I have no doubt about the way you teach. Just. It's true that every wish can come true. Or not here. Because it's just an effort. There's something you can't do yourself. I have the ability, but at a certain age. We can't do that anymore, for example. Let's say the boys. Who has never dreamed? He was a baseball player. Small, right? But no matter how hard they try, there are still a lot of people smarter than me. There are also physical ones. Not fit to chase ass. Baseball, there's a lot of age issues. If I was 5 years old, no matter how much I wanted to, have started practicing. You can't be a baseball player, professional too. What if you think this way? I wrote a list after many years. There will be things. I can no longer do it myself. Right.
We're only 17 years old. It was on the list you showed me. There's no such thing.
I have to give up at this point. So I said,
Everything has a way of making it happen. But among them, there are also things that limit our age. There are also cases that cannot be achieved. It's also a reality.
if you run into those cases, let's revise the list for age. No, she said softly.
Editing like that is not giving up the dream, SAO. At first, I thought so too. But when I asked Bar, I understood the difference.
What is it like? For example, Yuzuk said this before. Usually as a child.
Every boy has a dream. Become a professional baseball player.
That's right.
So why do you want to be a baseball player?
This one is different. Maybe it's because I look better.
That's how I can do what I like.
Get a lot of money again, to become a celebrity. It's been admired by many.
Maybe some people think I can give dreams and courage to others.
Maybe.
I'm just a baseball enthusiast, for example.
Then, many girls like it. That's right, what the boys said.
I want to be a professional baseball player. Ask yourself why you want to be a player.
It's mostly those kinds of reasons, right?
I want others to find me cool.
I want to be a celebrity and have a lot of money. Want to be respected. I want to give others courage. I want to be liked and simple.
I want to do what I like the most.
It really is with such a dream.
There are many people who want that.
But they can't be recruited. A professional baseball player.
It's not a dream.
Dreaming of becoming a professional baseball player. Most of it is. But you think, a boy who always dreams.
Become a professional baseball player. From a young age.
But it just becomes nothing. Just became a professional baseball player. Doesn't mean they were satisfied. If Haruka doesn't say, I didn't notice.
But this is the obvious truth. What's more important?
Is not.
Become a professional baseball player.
That. It's the life of a professional baseball player.
And then really, the majority of professional baseball players, they're not cool. There is no shortage of poor players. I hope people value you. They're not liked by girls either.
With back. It's not that AR is as passionate about baseball as we think it is.
There are only a few talented people in the professional world.
Achieved that success, but only in a certain period of time. A few years later, it went down. Everything also changed immediately.
The teenage boys,
dreaming of becoming a professional baseball player. Even if it really becomes that way.
I can't tell you that they achieved their dreams. It's just becoming nothing.
Does not mean
I have achieved my original goal.
See what's more important. Not according to career, professional baseball player. But there's a lot of people who want to play baseball.
I've got everything I wanted.
You can't pursue a baseball career, but I can achieve all my dreams.
They are very satisfied. Do you think that's right? Yeah, you mean you shouldn't think of a career as a dream?
That's right. That's right.
That's right. When we apply for a job,
we have to take that as a step.
To make my dreams come true. Haruka. Take out a piece of handmade paper.
She wrote a line and showed it to me. This time the paper is orange. On that paper she wrote, Professional baseball player by plane. I'm always asking questions without thinking about this. What does this mean? Let's take an example like this. I want to go up to Hokkaido now. First, we have to decide which way to go. Right. Almost all AIs thinking about flying. They will first choose the plane. Which means will you choose then I'd probably choose between the express or the commuter train. People usually choose that. You might not believe it. It also depends on each person. But that. Most people have given up on going to Hokkaido. It's all simply for a reason. You can't go the way you chose from the beginning, but if you can't fly by plane, there are many other ways to get to Hokkaido. Even by train or bus. If those ways don't work, then we can still go by boat or by car. There are even people who choose to ride by bicycle, if you want to go at all costs. They can walk or swim, whatever. Then the thoughts. You can't fly to Hokkaido by plane. That means you can't go to Hokkaido. It's not too weird. You mean like work? Don't think of planes as the only means. It can take us to our destination. Don't look at work. You have to be a professional baseball player. It's about making dreams come true. That's right. If it's really where I want to go, I can also be done. If I couldn't do it as originally planned, point out we can find another way. It's just that. Of course, we'll have to spend time and effort, but if we go by bus, we will enjoy the pleasure. Only the bus can bring it. Yes, Bar, that's what I said. It's what she said. People who travel by bus will surely say that. It's good if you leave the plane for the bus. If you choose to come with me, you will enjoy the feeling. Only the bus can bring it. Well, I'm glad I chose to take the bus. If all the vehicles can't move, heaps with sugar. Let's just point the way to places no one's ever been. There will be a time when you touch your ass, right? That's right. That's what you said. There really is. The professions. It will make it impossible to finish everything. What was written out on my first list? But bright eye, all that eye first. It's not about looking for a job or a job. Written in there. It helps us understand the purpose of our lives. Know how you are going to live your life. Then make it a reality. Of course, you can do a job. If the target is on that list, the better. But you're not allowed to forget that. A career is just a wish to fulfill a dream, if the job is not good. 0 means that everything will not be good. Just think of another way to make dreams come true. Okay, that's it. Start folding your orange plane for that day. I've heard a lot of kids gave up the dream. Become a professional baseball player, or give up your dream of becoming a footballer, or some kind of sport. Those who want to be CAs. That started the musical path. Or a fan of acting, for example. After this chapter, I really understand people is psychology. Yourself. Don't you give up your dreams one by one. There will be some dreams I decide to pursue. Not give up the problem. Just
What kind of vehicle will we use to get there?
From small to now.
I've embraced. I lost so many dreams.
I remember.
I know how many jobs I've thought about. To be able to make my dreams come true, Theo.
The right way.
I really haven't decided yet. What you want to do in the future. Careers you think you want to pursue. It's constantly changing. I'm angry with myself. I feel like an incompetent little bit of a quitter.
With those things, I judge myself as a bored fish. But what she said,
I think pursuing a career is also a dream, so I was labeling myself at the time.
It's the kind of weak person who immediately gives up on their dreams.
I'm just afraid I might have a dream, then give up again.
Since when has she been hiding? Haruka doesn't know that.
But she said this in the library.
Many people have great success in life. Not because it's fast. Decide what you want to do and move forward. People like Jesus will definitely succeed in the future.
I laughed and cried back to her. Now, for the first time, I can see the meaning in every word, Haruka.
Say it at that time. That day. I got 2 planes batting green and orange.
Because the orange plane in my room, it landed softly on my bed. I watched forever. The first list I did with Haruka, I once again saw my dream.
Take the destination seriously.
My own desire.
No matter how many jobs fall into the category of candidates.
Think about why you want to do the job.
I see the common ground of it all.
I said, I'm still chasing a dream.
No matter how many items I edit or add.
Crazy again. If I couldn't follow it until dusk,
I wouldn't be happy with the job.
Now I feel like I've made a list. Deciding what you want to do in life.
You can't fly by plane. It doesn't mean giving up, Nick.
Those words keep repeating. I don't know how many times in my life.
Later The 6th lesson.
Let go of the can't do before you do.
That's how my 17-year-old summer went.
Summer magic has brought about huge changes in value.
Drilled my life. Until now. Of course, the one who brought it was Izuka.
After many meetings too.
We are getting closer and closer.
Both are no longer afraid.
Try to find a reason to meet again. Like at the beginning. So when Haruka called home that morning,
I can't see you today. Give it to me.
Sorry. Your words are like a blow to the back of my head. What's going on?
The reason I can't meet you is because of SAO. We meet almost every day these days. Haruka ever thought she was a leech like Clingy?
It's not possible. The important person who has always supported me
suddenly invited her. I feel like I'm angry.
Trembling up to amazement. Think again and again.
For 2 weeks now. Since the day she showed up in the bookstore. I'm going through a dream. May these happy days last forever.
You guys seem to be getting weirder and weirder. Those lucky things don't fall easily on their heads. The summer days are chasing each other away. I think of Haruka. Thinking of my short days with Haruka. The unpleasant feeling. Keep banging up in my chest. We'll see you the next day. I found out about this later. It was Haruka's birthday. I'm based on her name. It's obvious that she had to be born in the spring. Or suddenly Haruka's birthday. Again on August 23rd. When I know that he chose to be with me on his birthday. Well, maybe. I seem to have forgotten all my doubts. The insecurity of yesterday. Mind suspended for sudden joy. That day, Haruka told me to go to the little zoo near her house. That zoo's about a 20-minute bike ride from my house. But it seems to be only a few minutes walk from Haruka's house. This place is near her mother's house. I heard her tell me a few times. It was nice to be taken there as a kid. And to me that place is that they're remote in my memory. Since the tour in elementary school. Aduka definitely likes animals. I'm not interested. But she's just as happy and surprised as a child. Look at that. Look at that bear. He's sleeping. It's just about sleeping. She's acting like she's touching. I'm half kidding. You like animals. She'd been nodding and pulling out something in her pocket. This is also an animal. It's a wallet with a bear face. The wallet is old. It must have been used for years. I tried to tease my friend. You use a kid's purse. Haruka can answer the question. Seems a little angry. But then you laugh like you don't care. Two kids walking in the zoo without Haruka. Let's talk about my bar. When I was born, my mother took me to the zoo. Of course, I don't remember anything. My bar is good. Be close to those around you. That time too. Baba got to know the animal feed here. The zoo was empty today. That person has led Baba to visit every corner of this place. All the places. As usual, there is no magic left. Ba seems to have heard a lot of stories. Once upon a time, I would like some advice on recent worries. Baba told me about this. It's rare to get so close to the zoo. I want to come here once. But the air girl goes to the zoo alone. That's why I invited Jesus here to come with me like this. Why didn't you come to your mother? My daughter is at this age. I went to the zoo with my mother. There's no such thing. But not to that extent. But my mom's not in the mood to go out and play with me. That's what it is now. Haruka's face was a little gloomy. No matter what, this place won't change. Last time I was here was 6 or 7 years ago. But the animals in this place are the same. I tried to change the subject to defuse the situation. So what are you telling me to tell you? Haruka took it from the bear mystery. The purple plane is ready. Give it to me. I gently opened it. Written in it. Prejudice makes everything possible impossible. While I was reading the paper, Haruka started the story. Most of the animals in the zoo were born here, always in the nurturing hands of human beings. That's why. They're different from wild animals, has been tamed by humans. But they still have moments of wildness. In such times, people have to use neck chains to stop their destructive actions. They're pathetic. But there's no other way. Same with the dogs in the house. The little animals. The more they're chained up, the crazier they get. They want to escape. The more crazy. They hurt themselves even more. But every time they're chained up, they're up. Do you understand why? Animals are also conscious. They also have the ability to learn. It also forms thoughts. Every time I'm treated like this, if we get mad, we just get tired. Make yourself hurt. It didn't work out. No more destruction is the wisest choice. That's right. See if they're like us. Big animals grow up if you really want to. They can tear the pile apart. Chains or ropes bind themselves eye. So many species have that ability. And they don't. They're not going to cause trouble anymore. Every time someone shackles you, they gradually obey. That's because when I was a kid, after so many times being chained, how many times I tried to stop, but I can't get out. It's true that they're stuck in their minds. As Zusuk said, if I'm chained up, I can't lose it. What can I do if so? They also have thoughts in this way. It's because the smart self knows this. I can't even try to do it. Those who keep trying to stop, it's just a fool with no ability to ask. Animal farmers have taken advantage of this, when thinking should not end. They're neck chains or shackles that are embedded deep into their heads. They don't need to chain them too tightly. For the animals, if they've been stuck in their heads thinking this word early, when you're standing in front of that AI, even though it's loosely chained by a wire, they are also obedient. It feels a little bit awkward. That's the same as us. That's right. People are still trapped by this idea. Heavier than muscle. At the age of 17, 18 years old. But the system of thought is already fully established. Just because of a bad test score, they've pinned it to themselves. School is never over, is it? It's not just human learning. It's the same for other things. He only lived 10 years. But I decided psychologically for myself, because I am this kind of person. You can't do those things. That's why it's so simple. I can't do it. It's like you're talking to me. After years of piling age, I started thinking about my dreams with my mind. No matter how hard you try, you can't do it. Who stands on the peeling? I'll always stand on my back. It's what decided everything from the beginning. That's why I didn't do anything. Put yourself on the label. It's not for me. Let the years bury all your dreams. That's what it is. But see one thing. I couldn't do it myself. In the first 25 years of life, then, thinking it's something you can't do forever. It's too early to know. 5 years later, we can do that again. It's easier than SAO. But a lot of people take what we couldn't do yesterday, make a reason to make it impossible. In my whole life, I couldn't do it yesterday. That's the reality. But it can't be the cause. To today, we can't do that either. You're not allowed to think like that. Adult human by day by month. That's what my bar taught me. After hearing the whole story, I just found out it was Haruka's birthday. That day Haruka, wearing a white dress with a bow tie, and put white flowers on the acne every day. I'm still a regular khaki shirt, for my part. I had a shower this morning, so make sure there's no sweat coming back. I hurried back to the souvenir counter at the zoo, buy a cotton elephant, birthday present for Tarika. It also has to be expensive. But Haruka is happy. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to have such a beautiful memory. I'll definitely keep it. Haruka holds the stuffed animal with both her hands. I laughed and looked at it. Slowly raise your head and say that surprising thing. Ever since. This sentence is no surprise. I just couldn't believe she said it at the right time. I have to go back to Jisuk. We can only meet in the morning. It was only about an hour. That day too. Haruka had reported from I before noon. I am so happy to be with Haruka. To spend her birthday. I still see this way of meeting. You two are a little upset. Why can't we be together a little longer? With that way of thinking. I'm also a little embarrassed.
Goodbye. See you next time. Wishing you a day full of health and success.